One day, as Duke arrived at the top station, he noticed that Reneus' funnel was cracked.
Your funnel is cracked, Reneus.
Oh, I know. It's been like this for weeks now.
As for Duke, he needed a new coat of paint.
If we weren't so busy, we could go to the engine works to get repaired.
That would be a nice Christmas gift.
Indeed, it would be.
That night, there was a big thunderstorm. The next morning, the engine works had been damaged by a fallen tree.
We will have to find somewhere else to repair our engines.
Yes, indeed, and I know just the place.
And he told the Fat Controller. Later that day, Thomas was called to pick up the workmen and their tools.
Where will I be taking them, sir?
You will be taking them to the transfer yards, where they will build a new repair shed.
That's a great spot.
So Thomas made his way to the transfer yards. He jumped slowly and carefully through the snow. When they arrived, the new works was set up in a big wooden shed, where engines from both railways could reach it.
Now that the new repair works is finished, I have 2 engines that need repairing.
The 2 engines were Duke and Reneus. They were both very happy that they could now get repaired. Duke was given a new coat of paint, and Reneus' broken funnel was fixed.
I apologize for not sending you both to the works sooner.
That's all right, sir.
We couldn't go to the works, but instead, the works have come to us.
When Edward arrived at the station, there was a group of people waiting for him.
Hello, Edward. We arrived from the mainland to visit you.
Yeah, we haven't seen you since last year.
Well, it's great seeing you again.
Duck watched as the happy visitors waved and cheered for Edward. He wished someone would come to the island to see him. Meanwhile, the Fat Controller was getting ready for a surprise visitor. The visitor was an engine that came to the island once before.
You should be here any minute now, sir.
Duck was too upset to wait for the engine, so he puffed slowly away.
Duck, where are you going?
I'm going to the countryside to be on my own.
Duck, wait!
Let him go, Oliver. I think he just needs some time to himself.
Well, okay, Edward.
A few minutes later, the surprise visitor had arrived. It was City of Truro. The engines were surprised.
City of Truro? What are you doing here?
I came here to see Duck. Do you know where he is?
I think you will find him in the countryside.
So City of Truro went there. When he found Duck, he smiled.
Hello, old friend.
City of Truro! How nice it is to see you again. Are you the surprise visitor?
Yes, I am. I came all this way just to see you.
That's wonderful. I was feeling a little upset that no visitors were coming to Sodor to see me, but now I do have a visitor, and that visitor is you.
The Fat Controller and his wife Lady Hat were waiting at Ellsworth Station, where Percy was going to take them to the canal boats. 20 minutes later, there was still no sign of Percy.
Where could Percy be? It's not like him to be late.
If he doesn't get here soon, we'll miss the boat!
At last, Percy arrived.
Sorry I'm late, sir. Some sheep ran onto the line, and we had to wait for the farmer's dog to round them up.
That's alright, Percy. If we leave now, we'll just make it in time.
So they quickly hopped aboard the coach, and Percy steamed quickly away. As they approached the canal, there was only a few seconds to spare.
Wait for us!
That was lucky. I was about to untie the rope and set off.
The Fat Controller and his wife boarded the boat and breathed a sigh of relief.
We're going to have a happy holiday after all, my dear.
And with no further delays.
Goodbye, you two. Enjoy your trip.
One night, Henry was to take a long line of coal trucks from the coaling plant to the power station. As he chopped down the line, he could see welcoming town lights that gave a nice glow. Suddenly, the lights went out.
Oh no! I must deliver the coal to the power station as quickly as I can.
Henry soon arrived at the power station, and thanks to his train, the coal was put into the power station and the lights came on again. Henry puffed home, feeling very proud of himself.
It's always lovely to see the buildings light up at nighttime. It makes the night feel a little more magical.
One day, the Fat Controller had something special that he had to do, but he couldn't remember what it was.
I always got something to think about. There was something I was supposed to do, but I can't remember what it was. Maybe a nice walk will help me remember.
As he was walking across the platform, a mother and her happy child came up to him.
What do you have in your hand, young man?
My mom bought me this model Toby. It's my favorite toy.
Then the Fat Controller remembered what he was going to do.
Now I remember what to do. Send old Toby to the engine works to have his worn parts mended.
So Toby was sent to the engine works, and a few days later he came out looking like a new engine. The other engines were impressed, and so was the Fat Controller.
You look as good as new.
It was a cold winter morning on the Skarloey Railway. As the engine set out to do their work, Skarloey noticed that Rusty was feeling sad.
What's wrong, Rusty?
My driver has calmed down with a cold, and I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry to hear that, but don't worry. I'm sure he'll be feeling much better soon.
I hope so, Skarloey.
On the narrow gauge railway, there was snow everywhere. Duncan rocked and rolled, and then he skidded off the tracks.
Sweepers and ballast, I'm off!
His driver and fireman ran down the mountain and they told the Thing Controller what had happened.
I see. Well then, Rusty, you'll have to go and help Duncan.
But Rusty couldn't go without his driver, and Duncan's driver and fireman didn't know how to drive a diesel.
Maybe I can help.
It was Rusty's driver, who had recovered from his cold.
Great to see that you're feeling better, driver.
Come on, Rusty. Let's go and help Duncan.
So together, they set off to help Duncan. Rusty took Duncan to the engine works, and then he continued the rest of the day, working happily with his driver.